Attention Minnesota Vikings fans. The news we have today will drive you crazy. Vikings fans are flooding our social networks trying to understand what just happened. And here in this video, you will know everything firsthand. So don't leave. Don't forget to leave your like on the video too, because it helps our community to grow more. And if you are not subscribed yet, subscribe, because here we always do giveaways with subscribers. Now let's go to today's news. Vikings bolster offense with signing of explosive slot receiver Rondale Moore. The Minnesota Vikings continue to invest in strengthening their offense for the 2025 season. Even with an offensive roster full of talent, the team announced the signing of speedy slot receiver Rondale Moore, formerly of the Arizona Cardinals and Atlanta Falcons. Moore's arrival adds depth to a receiving core that already features stars like Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison. While not a hugely impactful signing, Moore represents an intriguing addition to the Vikings offense. Considered one of the most agile and dynamic receivers in the 2021 NFL Draft, the wide receiver arrives as a low-risk, high-potential bet. He spent the entire 2024 season sidelined due to a knee injury suffered in training camp, which prevented him from playing for the Falcons, the team to which he was traded in exchange for quarterback Desmond Ridder. Prior to that, Moore had some promising moments with the Cardinals, especially in 2022, when he recorded 41 receptions for 414 yards in just 8 games before being sidelined by injury. His speed and ability to create separation on short routes make him a valuable target in third-down situations and explosive plays. Now Moore will have the opportunity to relaunch his career under coach Kevin O'Connell, who is looking to create a supportive environment for his young quarterback, J.J. McCarthy. The receiver's success will depend largely on McCarthy's ability to command the offense after spending his entire rookie season sidelined with the meniscus injury. Moore arrives in Minnesota at an opportune time. The Vikings have yet to determine a starting WR3 for 2025, leaving room for the new signing to compete for that position. While Jalen Nailor showed potential with 414 receiving yards in a few key games late last season, his production doesn't warrant a permanent spot on the starting lineup. Historically, Moore has failed to establish himself as a regular starter, even on an Arizona Cardinals team lacking offensive options. His best year statistically was in 2021, when he racked up 54 receptions for 435 yards and a touchdown. His inconsistent usage and injury issues have prevented him from cementing his role in the team. In 2023, he had a dip in production, recording just 299 yards before being traded. Moore's great advantage is his versatility. He can play both as a slot receiver and in wide formations, as well as contribute to kick return plays. If he can stay healthy and develop good chemistry with McCarthy, Moore could be a difference maker in fast-paced, short-passing situations. Regardless of whether he becomes the starting WR3 or not, Rondale Moore has the opportunity to contribute significantly to the Vikings offense in 2025. With K.J. Osborne in the offseason, Minnesota needed a player capable of filling that void and offering more options for McCarthy. The success of this signing will depend not only on Moore's health, but also on the development of the offense under O'Connell. If McCarthy adapts quickly to the NFL and Moore can maintain his production without suffering injuries, the Vikings could have an even more explosive offense next season. The combination of talents like Jefferson, Addison, Hockenson, and Jones was already formidable, and Moore could be the final piece to make that group even more dynamic and unpredictable. Vikings linked to former Super Bowl MVP after Rodgers' decision. The Minnesota Vikings are still looking for a veteran quarterback to join their roster next season, but the identity of that player remains unclear. What has already been decided, however, is that Aaron Rodgers will not be that choice. The team announced on Wednesday, March 19th, that it does not intend to invest in signing the experienced quarterback, ending any speculation about his arrival in Minnesota. According to ESPN's Kevin Seifert, the Vikings considered several options throughout the week after Rodgers expressed interest in signing with the franchise. Internal discussions intensified even more when the projected starter for 2024, Sam Darnold, signed with the Seattle Seahawks, and Daniel Jones, who was seen as a viable alternative to join the roster, rejected Minnesota's offer and signed with the Indianapolis Colts. Despite the movement in the quarterback market, the Vikings have shown confidence in J.J. McCarthy, who remains the team's main bet to take over as the starter starting in 2025. The young quarterback has received commercial interest from other teams, but Minnesota has rejected any proposals, reinforcing the belief in his potential. Now, the franchise's big dilemma revolves around which veteran will be hired to act as McCarthy's mentor and backup, ensuring stability and experience for the quarterback group. Among the alternatives analyzed by the Vikings board, one name that stands out is the experienced Joe Flacco. The quarterback, who won Super Bowl 47 with the Baltimore Ravens and was named MVP of the Grand Final, is coming off a solid season and can offer the necessary support to McCarthy during his adaptation to the NFL. Flacco played for the Indianapolis Colts in the 2024 season, initially as a backup to young Anthony Richardson. However, given the sophomore's inconsistencies, Flacco ended up taking over as the starter in some games, where he threw for 1,761 yards, 12 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions, with a completion rate of 65.3%. His experience and ability to lead an offense are seen as valuable attributes for a team that is betting on a young quarterback as the future of the franchise. Flacco's most notable stint in recent years came in 2023, when he joined the Cleveland Browns midseason and led the team to an impressive run of 4 wins in 5 games, securing a spot in the AFC playoffs. In that short but impactful campaign, Flacco accumulated 1,616 passing yards, 13 touchdowns, and 8 interceptions, showing that he can still play a relevant role in the NFL. At 40 years old, he remains an experienced and reliable piece, which could be exactly what the Vikings need to solidify their new offensive phase. In addition to Flacco, other options on the Vikings' radar include Carson Wentz and a potential return for Kirk Cousins. Wentz spent last season as a backup with the Kansas City Chiefs and could be looking for a new opportunity to play in a more meaningful role. Cousins, who was a starter for the Vikings for 6 seasons before signing with the Atlanta Falcons in 2024, could be an intriguing alternative. However, his status is still dependent on the outcome of the NFL Draft, which takes place in late April. If the Falcons decide to move on with Michael Penix Jr. as the starter and opt to release Cousins, Minnesota could consider reuniting with the 36-year-old veteran, although the chances of that happening are still uncertain. Meanwhile, Carson Wentz has expressed interest in signing with the Cleveland Browns if the team does not sign Russell Wilson. Wilson, meanwhile, remains on the market awaiting a decision from Aaron Rodgers, who is between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the New York Giants, both interested in having the 4-time MVP veteran. With Rodgers out of the equation, the Vikings now turn their focus to finding a veteran who can act as a backup and mentor to J.J. McCarthy. Joe Flacco emerges as an interesting option, but the market still offers alternatives that could be explored before the start of a season. Regardless of the choice, Minnesota appears determined to build a solid foundation for its offense and ensure that McCarthy has the support he needs to develop as the franchise's starting quarterback for years to come. The next few weeks should be decisive in defining which veteran will join the team and help shape the future of the Minnesota Vikings.